Good morning, YouTube fam. Here we are on a beautiful Friday morning, and we're gonna use this day or this couple hours to replace some front end suspensions. I'd much rather be out fishing, but we gotta get some stuff done. So, what we're doing here 2014 Honda Pilot, the all wheel drive. If you follow my videos, I've posted several videos. I'm trying to get rid of this little shake that I have. I've done the sway bar links, stabilizer bar, bushings, both front end CV joints, and none of that has got me any answers or any results on getting rid of this shake. I've actually done this the CV joints twice, thinking it was the brand, but it's no problem. So I do have over 200,000 miles on this car. I bought it used, and I believe that when you go over bumps, there's a very hard, there's no cushion on the front, and there's some noise in there, especially on the passenger side. It squeaks when you turn it, so maybe the bearings are bad. I don't know how much suspension can affect your smoothness of your vehicle when you're driving, but I mean smooth as being just driving without hitting any bumps. I don't mean like you hit a bump and so on, but this car it doesn't feel smooth when you're driving down the highway. 65, 70 miles an hour, it just feels weird. And then there's that little shake between 20 and 25 and 30 miles an hour. And if you get off the gas, it goes away. By all people that I've spoken with, that's a problem that would commonly be caused by the CV joints. But again, I replace them and there's no problem. Still, the problem is there. So for this job, we got some Monroe front end assemblies. So the whole thing, I think they're about 117, 20-ish each. One is, $3 or $4 more than the other. Before you start a job like this, you definitely want to make sure that you have everything that you need and that they are the right parts. So what I did, I got them out the box, and I was freaked out because they say FR on the top, and I thought I meant front right. But when I stood them up and I compared them as if I was installing them on each side of the car, he showed that they have their opposite at the bottom, especially like on this area here where they have the little ears for the hose connections. They're different, so we're good there. And then you do have a stabilizer bar that goes right around here, so we're good there. We got two for the front, two for the back. We're gonna make a separate video for the rear because I think I only have time to do the front right now. So you need lug nuts, remove, take your tire out, disassemble the strut itself from the knuckle. So we'll go step by step, and then take this cover out to get to the top, to the tower. And if I would prefer to do this job the way that I would like to do it, I would do the whole thing, get the the sway bar links done at the same time, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get them out without damaging them. And I hope that I can do that. They don't have any more than 5,000 miles on them because I just did them recently, like I mentioned before. But we'll get there when we get there. Got a hydraulic jack, of course. Got some safety towers right here, some jack stands, and I do have air tools, make it a little easier. So we're gonna get started with this job and go ahead and remove the front tire. All right, so our tire is removed. For the tire, we use a 22 millimeter socket wrench. For the knuckle, you're gonna need a 24 millimeter wrench or socket rather. For your ABC line, I would recommend taking it off of here from the strut itself, and from the frame, that's gonna be 10 millimeter. And then here you have your brake line. I think that's a 12 or a 10 as well. And then you're gonna have to come up here, take that panel out right here. You just put a screwdriver right in the little notches they give you there. Be careful with it, don't break it. And then you have 3 different nuts in there. They're 14 millimeter sockets. Do not mess with the one in the middle. I'm gonna say it again, don't mess with the one in the middle. You take that out, that's your bearing, that's the tower. You release the spring, you have issues. You not you can get hurt first of all, and you're gonna need a tool. Well, actually, this is the old one, so you probably don't care, but still, you don't want to damage anything. You don't want to get hurt. But if you were to remove that on the new one, you have to get a tool that they use to compress the springs. So a whole more just trouble you don't need. So 1, 2, 3, the middle one, leave it alone, 14 millimeter. Once you have that done, usually I like to get a bucket to support the knuckle, and I put that under there, or some bungee cords, because I don't want the whole assembly to move forward and get the bearings on the CV joint to come dislodge from where they have to be. So just be careful and find a way to do that without having your whole thing just fall forward. You should be able to maybe turn your wheel or something along those lines. As long as you slide this out of here, you'll be okay. So just disconnect your hoses, your lines, then this, and then oh, I forget to mention, I think, let's see, what is it for the sway bar link? 17, and I do have mine. I'm lucky enough that after I replace them, I don't have to use the hex nut in the middle. This is just a socket, so I'll be good there. Hopefully it doesn't spin all together. So we're gonna remove these hoses and cables and remove this from here, and that's gonna free the strut assembly from everything else. So here again, I'm gonna take one of these full assemblies and just make sure that everything matches to my old one. So here I have my hose connection on the right side of it, and then on the back side I have my attachment for the cable. I don't think so. This only has the bracket for the ABS. It's actually coming all together, so I'll remove that whole entire thing together because it hooks up to here. This one doesn't have a bracket, but everything matches up. You probably need some help to get somebody to hold this when you release it from the top, but we're gonna go ahead and release everything from the bottom end. All right, so we have the knuckle distance bolts out, and I like to keep my stuff wherever I got a bolt from. I wanted to go back in there. So bottom one, top one. This is a 12 millimeter. I'm working on the nut up there for the stabilizer bar because that is spinning in the back, and I don't have a way to hold it. So we'll see how we go about that one. Put some WD-40 on it, see if that breaks it loose. I'm working with my impact wrench. I don't want to give it tough love because I don't want to break it. What I used was my tire at the bottom to rest the whole assembly so it doesn't swing like we talked about, and even then it's kind of like it's being held by the outer tie rod and so on, but just keep an eye on it that it doesn't swing out, and just make sure that you align it where it's supposed to be when it goes back up. All right, so I forgot that there is actually a spot in the back of this style sway bar link to put an open-ended wrench, 19 millimeter, and then that'll hold the bolt in place so you can spin the nut out. So that's what I did, lock that on there to prevent it from like overheating and breaking it. So again, go to the back of it. Some of them have them here, hex nut, and some of them have them the way I have this one in the back. So just make sure you have that, keep that in mind so it doesn't cause you problems and you have to replace it. Okay, so that technique definitely got the job done. We got this sway bar link out. And what we will do is, while we're here, we're gonna make sure that we grease these up, connect to the fitting and pump some grease into it. Doesn't hurt while we're here. I don't see any ruptures on the boots, so I think we're good there. They're not as strong as I think they should be, but they're not that old. I mean, the quality of them, they're Detroit axle, and I haven't had bad luck with their parts. They're pretty good about warranty and stuff. As long as you will send the other one back, they'll get it to you. But I mean, for the price, kind of works out. So we're gonna go to the top and remove the top 3 bolts, and then this assembly will fall out and we'll be ready to install the new one. We're gonna try to remove this with the air tool here. It's tight in there, so let's see how much we can get, because these nuts are like raised. These are the original ones are kind of weird, so I don't know if I'll be able to fit in there. to be able to, might be able to loosen them, and that's all. We'll see how this plays out here. No, not enough power. This ratchet doesn't really, it gets you in places that you can loosen up things, but it's not the greatest at torque. I don't even know what the maximum torque on this 3/8 is. 90 psi, and who cares? Let's move on to do it with a ratchet. All right, we'll try with the bigger ratchet here, and some that goes pretty easy. And I do have the torque specs for these, so I'll talk about them as I tighten them. But we're gonna go ahead and remove all 3 of these, and then that's gonna drop the whole unit. All right, so we were able to get it out, get the strut out, the assembly out of there. We did have to move the tire a little bit to allow the control arm to move down and give us space. We have to wiggle it a little bit. You see what I did there? To be able to get him out, but I had my wife help me by loosening the nuts at the top while I held the strut assembly down here, and then work it out all the way out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and grease, hook up to the fittings, grease these up, this one here and this one here. And as far as the strut goes, I'm not sure if this is the original one. I would think it is, but I have some rupture up here. This is not, I'm not sure if that rubber is supposed to make contact all the time. I don't see any play up here at the bearing, but I do have a rip on the boot right there. So, you know, you can be driving down the road and corrosion, you know, dirt and stuff just gets in there. So that could be where that was coming from. But we're gonna get ready to do the same thing, to reverse the process. Like, we're gonna come from the bottom, put the new assembly on after we grease that up, and then secure them at the top. Only secure them, and then tighten them by hand as much as we can. Don't tighten it all the way. Leave it a little, you know, like halfway in there, so you can work everything into place, and then you can work your way from the top to the bottom. So you can see there, the boot is a little like what's it called, like it depressed, because the bearings came out of where they're supposed to. So just make sure that's sitting in the proper slot before you tighten everything up, and you should be able to determine that that's the case, because I don't think this will fit where it needs to go if you have that not seated properly. So let's grease it up and start the process of getting everything back together. It takes about 25-30 minutes to get one side done. All right, now that we have all 3 nuts tightened by hand at the top, and then at the bottom we have our knuckle bolts are through, snug by hand. So what I did again is I just put everything just to meet the metal. I didn't tighten anything up so I can wiggle around. The easiest way for me to remove the strut was to come down through and under the brake line and through this area here, and then to go up I just went the same way. I jammed the or placed the strut this way and then went right up. It was easy. So as far as torque specs, 156 pounds for the knuckle, 56 pounds for the sway bar link, and 43 pounds for these up here. If you want to go ahead and look for the foot-pounds yourself, you're welcome to do so. That's what I read. That's what I'm going with for my car. I'm not telling you that you have to do it this way. I'm telling you this is what I learned that these foot-pounds are. So I don't want anybody saying that they follow my directions on foot-pounds and the shit fell apart. So again, let's go. What I'm doing again, 43 on the top for the struts, 156 for the knuckle here, and 56 for the sway bar link. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten that up, and we're gonna bring all our equipment. We're gonna set it, put it back up where it belongs, the ABS cable and the brake line, and then button everything up and go ahead and put the tire back. All right, we got the top finished up, 43 foot-pounds. It's sealed back up. Nothing is missing up there. I got everything here where it needs to be, and I'm gonna start tying everything up. First, I'm gonna do the sway bar link to 56 pounds. So I'm gonna grab my 19 millimeter to secure the back, bring it to where I need it to be with my impact wrench, just to meet it there. I'm gonna set the power on 2 so I don't go crazy. All right, so that's not there. So now I'm gonna grab my my torque wrench and see if I can figure out, yep, I got enough room there. So we're gonna put this one on, set my foot-pounds to 56. Should pretty close. Wrong side. That's 50. 50 right there. 55, 56. And then same thing, I'm gonna put this in the back in case it wants to spin on me. I can get a hold of it. And it's a little tight there. Let's see. There we go. Sometimes you gotta find the proper turn here because it won't match, and then you don't have the room that you need. There we are. That went flying. So I can barely get a click here. And my right arm is not working too good. See if we can go from this side. How about we get an extension on there? Put an extension on there with a swivel head. Now that gives me a little to go a little farther out. Give me some more room on this side. And we gotta go up. When you hear that click, that's 56 foot-pounds on there. And now we're gonna do this one here with the impact. Get everything to sit, and then go to 156. So I'm almost ready for that. So let's get. I think I still have the same attachment on here. Switch this up to drive instead of reverse. And at some point that's gonna spin on you. You're gonna need to hold it here with something or to be able to keep it from spinning. So what I do is I don't have a deep enough socket, 24 millimeters, is I set this on there, and then I put the extension at the end. As you see there, I had a little more room. The tighter you get, the less you have to deal with it. So I'm gonna grab my channel locks and set them on here so I can hold with one hand, keep the bolt from spinning around while I drive it, and help me get it tighter than I need from 156 pounds. That's about good there. The bottom one. Lock it up. Drive her in. Go back to the top. Secure it. All right, and now we're gonna make sure that we are 156 with the torque wrench. So set that to 156. And mine, I think it's 160 tops. So I'm at 156 right there. And let's see if we can turn this without issues. You see that top bolt, I don't know if you can see it there, but the bolt is spinning on me. So what I do is I just give it quick, like if it was an impact. Now 156 there. Go to the bottom, and we're good there. All right, and that's pretty much it. Then from there, you just go ahead and install your tire. What I like to do at the end, I like to give myself a little walk of what I did. So I'll remove these two. They're in there tight, torque specs. This is in there. This guy's bolt is in there. This is to specification on torque. That's in there. And then the top one was the first three that I did. So I know everything is in there. My drive shaft, I'm sorry, my CV joint is in place. There's no kinks in the boot, so I know it's good to go. I'm not missing any bolts or anything like that. So now I'll put my tire on, snug it with the impact, and then that goes to, I believe it's 95 foot-pounds for the lug nuts, and that's it. You're done. This is, again, took me less than an hour to do it. I don't even know how much this will cost you for labor at a shop. Probably upwards of $500 to do all four of them. You're probably looking at like $8, somewhere around that number. You know, you take 4 hours of your day. Maybe the rear ones, I don't know, probably easier because I don't have all this stuff around. It's just, I think it's just 4 bolts and you're done. But we'll do that later on today if we have time. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comments. Thank you for supporting and watching. Hopefully this helps somebody, and we'll see you later for the rear ones.